People play in your face because you let them. And the reason people keep crossing your boundaries isn't because they don't respect you. It's because you don't enforce them. You taught them that that line was decorative. And if we're being honest, you didn't even break the boundary. You renegotiated it with yourself and hope that wasn't nobody gonna notice. Hey y'all, hey. Today, we ain't talking about setting boundaries. We're talking about how to actually mean them. Because it's easy to say what you're gonna do until you get to the moment. So let's start here on the surface. What's up? I'm Marquita. You can call me Kita from Beneficial Bay. And this is Go Deeper, Please. This is the podcast where business is the mirror and relationships are the case study. And alignment is the only thing that actually pays. I guarantee you, if you struggle with business or relationships, more than likely you approaching them both the same way. Today's episode is for the person who said no, but kept explaining, who set the boundary, but stayed available, who drew the line and then stood on the wrong side of it. Because here's the truth that don't nobody want to talk about or say out loud. Boundaries don't fail because you waited too long to set them. They fail because you don't hold long enough for the discomfort to do the work. And yes, this is business, but also this is dating because the dynamic is identical. If somebody cancels on you last minute and you say, it's okay, I understand. What that person actually hears is, well, this ain't a deal breaker. And if a client misses a deadline and you say, oh, just get it to me when you can, especially if it's a discount, what they hear is, well, as a business owner, my time and everything I got going on is flexible when yours isn't. And if you keep letting it slide, they don't feel safe. They feel unchallenged. And let's be honest, unchallenged people do not commit. They get good and comfortable. So here's the fact of the matter. Boundaries are not about control. They're about consequence. And most people don't struggle with boundaries because they are unclear. They struggle because they're afraid of what's going to happen if they actually enforce them, you included. So you're not scared of losing them. You're scared of being seen as serious. Because once you mean it, ain't no more pretending you don't know. You got to stand on it. Let's go deeper, please. I like to start off with, it's not that deep, because that's somebody who done been there and done that. I'm going to tell you what parts ain't that deep. First, we're going to talk about why people fold. The first reason, you want to be chosen more than you want to be respected. I call that the pick-me wound. This is more obvious, but let's just say it out loud. When we date, it sounds like, I just don't want to seem difficult. And in business, it sounds like, well, I just don't want to scare the clients away or run the money off. So then you soften the boundary. You start over explaining it. You add a smiley face when ain't nothing funny because you meant it. You give grace before accountability is established. Just totally out here wilding out. And then you shocked when they treat you like an option. Here's the truth. Deals don't choose what doesn't require a choice. And people don't choose who doesn't require a choice. You an option because you made yourself that way. Excuse me. The second one, you mistake flexibility for maturity. Flexibility after trust is built is power. Flexibility before structure is a weakness. In relationships, that looks like, oh, we just going with the flow. And in business, It looks like I'll just customize everything. You just tell me what you have and I'll just build myself around that. But what you actually saying is, I don't have no standards yet. And standards that aren't enforced are just preferences. Again, standards that are not enforced are just preferences. You keep negotiating after the decision. That's problem number 3. This one is subtle but deadly. No is a full sentence, but somehow you say no, then you keep talking. You set the boundary, then you justify it. You tell yourself, I just want them to understand where I'm coming from. But boundaries don't need to be understood. They need to be respected. Explanation is an invitation to have a debate. Silence is the enforcement. So just like you do with kids, because I said so. I said what I said. Mistake 4, you confuse empathy with access. And this is the one that hurt. You can understand somebody's situation without accommodating it. In dating, I know they've been through a lot. In business, I know they're overwhelmed. Compassion doesn't require self-betrayal. And every time you override your boundary to be kind, you teach people that your kindness is exploitable. Period. Mistake 5. You don't believe you'll be okay if they leave. And this is the real root. You think that holding the line means losing a client, losing a relationship, losing momentum, losing that validation that comes with all of that. But what you're actually afraid of losing is the fantasy that this might work if I just tried a little harder. Boundaries don't end good things. They end the ones that are misaligned way faster. Be okay with that. It's time to go deeper, please. Let's dive in because we need to talk about this. So let's start with dating. If you tell somebody, I'm not okay with inconsistency, then you keep accepting inconsistent behavior, what you're actually communicating is, this isn't a deal breaker. It was just a preference. Same with cheating. And that's why they continue to play on you or play with you. The next thing in business, if your contract say one thing, but your behavior says another, the behavior gonna win every time. If you tell me it's a sale till Monday and then you leave it on till Friday, I'm gonna not pay. I'm not gonna buy fast. People don't respond to what you say. They respond to what you allow. And boundaries are not walls. They are filters. They don't punish the wrong people. They just expose them. Flat out. Come on, this is my favorite part of going deeper. We're getting fully immersed in this. Now, here's how you hold a boundary and not set it. Because people tell you how to set a boundary, and that's cute until they get pressure. So, first thing you need to do is decide privately before you speak publicly. Because if you unsure, they gonna feel it every time. And a boundary that gets spoken with hesitation sounds too much like a request. A boundary spoken with clarity now sounds like a policy. So here's the stillness test. This is my kiss for today. Now, the stillness test is what happens after you set that boundary and nothing immediately changes, because this is why you keep folding. No apologies, no explanations, no chasing, just space. And stay still. Let that space happen. Wait and don't move. Number 1, that false urgency response. What people expect after that boundary is usually immediate compliance, a reaction, some type of reassurance, a fight, at least a conversation. But what actually happens is going to be silence, delay, neutral behavior, uncertainty. And people misinterpret that silence as rejection or punishment or failure. So then they move. Second part of that test, and this is why people break their own boundaries. People don't break boundaries because they're weak. They break them because they can't regulate the discomfort of waiting. Take this in. Stillness feels like a loss to people who confuse movement with control. In dating, you text again, you clarify, you soften up, you temperature checking. And in business, you following up too fast. You're adding all these extra add-ons and bonuses. You can explain again if they need it. You start renegotiating your own price. That ain't strategy. That's anxiety. Be for real. Part 3 of the stillness test. That power shift that happens in the silence. Boundaries do not create silence. Boundaries don't create power. Stillness does. Because silence reveals who respects your access. It exposes who is benefiting from that overreach. It filters who can self-regulate. People who are only compliant under pressure will self-eliminate here. And that's the test. Part 4 of that stillness test. The difference between waiting and wavering. And this is a critical distinction, so write this down. Waiting equals holding your position. Wavering equals negotiating against yourself. Because waiting sounds like no follow-up, don't change your tone, don't put no extra explanation on it. While wavering sounds like just checking in. I ain't mean it like that. Oh, I'm flexible. So, hear me and hear me good. Write it down if you need to. If you have to restate the boundary, you already moved. Part 5. The right people don't need the reminder. In dating, the right person adjusts without any type of drama. And in business, the right client adapts without no type of negotiation loops. Boundaries are instructions. Stillness is the enforcement of the instruction. If someone needs constant reminders, they ain't confused. They testing how serious you are. So before you say anything, you need to ask yourself, am I willing to lose to honor this? And if the answer is nothing, you're not ready to set it yet. You got to understand. You got to lose the person or the argument. Be okay with losing the person, especially if that's your boundary. Now go deeper to the point of no return, because we didn't came too far to go back. You don't need stronger boundaries. You need stronger follow through. The moment you mean it, everything changes. Your voice gets steadier. Your body starts to relax. Your decisions are cleaner. And the people who can't meet you there, they remove themselves. That ain't a loss. That's alignment. Let the rotten fruit fall by itself. And if this episode hit, it's because you already know where you've been folding. So the question ain't, how do I set better boundaries? The question is, am I willing to stand by the ones I already named? Because the line don't need to move. You just need to mean it. Next episode, we going deeper. And thank y'all for staying with me. Because once you stop folding, you start to see where your lack of structure has been draining your power. Episode 6 is where we diagnose what's actually off. And why self-awareness without structure keeps you stuck. Go deeper with me.